I cannot remember most days of my life. They blur together into the same repeated patterns. Waking up, making coffee, brushing my teeth. Routine is everywhere, but it doesn't create memories. But breaking it does. Sometimes I wonder why I carry a camera everywhere. I think it is to search for those cracks in the cycle, to notice when something stands out from the endless repetition. Having a routine keeps me alive, but it's breaking it that makes me feel alive. The landscape feels heavier here. Raindrops fall, fog drifts, rivers swell. The forest repeats itself, tree after tree, branch after branch. When I go out, time after time, I start noticing the things that don't fit. Like a tree that bends differently, a patch of light that sneaks through the fog, the moment a cloud touches the mountain. These things don't last, they don't repeat. They happen briefly, and then they are on their way. Just like the happy moments, the fond memories. And that's what makes them worth chasing. Sometimes when I walk these trails, I notice the small plaques fixed to benches or rocks, a name, a date, and a line about how they love this place. It strikes me every time how simple it is, and yet how much it says. Someone lived, someone loved, someone found meaning right here, in this same place. That was enough to be remembered for. And the trees keep standing witness to it all. They carry centuries in their rings, storms in their scars. They grow side by side, yet each one follows its own path. Some stretch tall and straight, others twist and bend, hanging on to whatever they can, shaped by years of weather, soil, and light. They remind me that nature doesn't move in straight lines. It adapts, it responds, it survives. Maybe that's why we feel something in places like this. Because even as life rushes by, trees slow everything down. They measure time differently, not in hours or days, but in seasons, in decades, in lifetimes. They remind us that we are part of the same rhythm, even if ours is faster and more fragile. I found this tree, with this root just hanging outside of this rock, and I found it really interesting. So it basically uses like the roots that come from this side as a leading line up towards that side, which is the most interesting part. And the tree trunk is actually a little bit off center, and I feel like it works really well because it's on the left third of the image. And then there are the rivers, the waterfalls, nature reminding us of another kind of rhythm. The pattern is always the same, but the details are never identical. I think that's how happiness works too. The big picture looks like repetition: work, sleep, seasons turning, years passing. But within that, there are moments that can't be replicated. So maybe my job with the camera, and maybe in life too, is not to escape the cycles, but to stand close enough to see when something breaks through, to notice the unrepeatable inside the repetition, to remember that even in the most familiar patterns, there's always a drop, a moment that will never happen again. So this is a little bit sketchy because I'm knee deep in water and I just have to scan with my tripod to see if it's any deeper than I can handle, but it's pretty nice. We need the cycles, the daily rituals, the things that keep us from spinning out of control. But if that's all we have, we start to drown in it. We need the breaks, the little ruptures, the moments that push us out of autopilot. I think that's why so many people feel stuck. They have the job, the paycheck, the apartment, the schedule. Wake up, commute, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Everything lined up neatly, day after day. From the outside, it looks stable, but on the inside, it eats away at you. Until one day, you wake up and wonder where the last 5 years went. Think back on your life. Most of it is routine, forgotten. The mornings, the commutes, the dinners, the scrolling, the errands. They all blur together. What remains are the breaks, the days that didn't fit the pattern. The road trips, the heartbreaks, the storms. The things that interrupted the ordinary. That's what sticks. That's what becomes story. And I wonder if photography is just another way of chasing that. Looking for the frame where routine breaks. And maybe, if we're lucky, we'll learn how to create our own breaks. To step outside the comfort zone, to risk the unfamiliar, to let go of what's predictable. That's when we feel alive again. That's when we stop drowning and start breathing.